Alright, so we have a, pretty fun short-notice replacement fight here in my opinion. So we have Gregory Rodrigues versus Dusko Todorovic. So I think we know Dusko now, he's been in the UFC for around a year and a bit. So he tries to be very elusive, stick and get out of there, stick, get back on his bike, use his footwork. He utilizes a lot of head movement to avoid strikes. But, there is a downside to all that stuff. Yeah, it looks good, but he has his hands low at all ranges. He leans back with his chin in the air to avoid strikes. A guy with high striking IQ is going to make you pay for that. And he does it every time, so it does get predictable. And they're going to set up traps, and they're going to really, make you really pay the ultimate price. And that's what Puna did. Also, when you, get him close to the fence, he has trouble avoiding strikes because he can't move his upper body as well as he would because the fence is in the way. So, there is a lot of downsides to that style. For Rodrigues, he has that classic Brazilian Muay Thai style. His head doesn't move too much, likes to stalk forward. Everything is just with power, very explosive. But yeah, he's fun to watch. So yeah, Dusko, he skirts along the outside. He looks to utilize footwork, and then, when he wants to close distance, sometimes he can be a little open there because he's not leading with the jab when he's closing distance a lot of the time. He primarily uses his jab just to stick and move. He won't use it to really close distance or, get in the pocket. He kind of just enters the pocket, maybe with a level change at times, and then he'll go for the left hook from there once he does come up from the level change. Also that step in 2, not leading with the jab at all, and then, step in 2 and then level change 3, throws a lot of hooks in the pocket, and he does have his hands low in the pocket, as I said, has his hands low at all times, relies on upper body movement at all times. So in the pocket, he's still using upper body movement to, avoid strikes. And you have to have really good vision and just awareness to, have that type of defense. And for Rodrigues, he's going to be looking for that straight right. He looks for that pretty much any time the opponent closes distance. And Dusko, kind of telegraphs his striking entries because he is coming from afar. A lot of the time he's coming from a fair distance away because he is utilizing a lot of footwork on the outside. So he can kind of telegraph his striking entries, and I think Rodrigues is going to look for that straight right. I think he's going to catch Dusko a few times, absolutely, as Dusko's entering range. I think that's pretty much a given, so it just depends on whether Dusko can eat him or not. Also, when he's level changing in the pocket, Rodrigues is going to be looking for that uppercut when his opponent's dipping. I think he caught Mataval with a few uppercuts when Mataval was dipping. Also, Mataval is much shorter than Dusko Todorovic. I think Mataval's like 5'8", so the uppercut was definitely, the go-to weapon there. But still, if Dusko's going to be level changing, I think that's open for it. At distance, both these guys have nice kicks. I think Dusko probably has the pure kicking advantage. He has a nice lead leg offense, likes kicking it to the body, kicking it to the lead leg of the opponent. But I think there's going to be a lot of interesting exchanges in the clinch, because when they do clinch up, Rodrigues is going to be looking for the Muay Thai plum clinch, and he's got a very strong Muay Thai plum clinch where he throws knees to the body, knees to the head when he's able to break the posture of the opponent. And for Dusko, he likes to throw knees to the body, but also, punches to the body, rips to the body. But also, Rodrigues can mix it up with the takedowns. He likes the hip toss in the clinch. He likes the mat return from the body lock position. So I think Rodrigues has a lot more weapons in the clinch than Dusko Todorovic does. Also, at distance, Rodrigues has nice timing on the level change. He shoots a double near the fence when the opponent's, close to the cage. He looks to drive through that double onto the fence and then turn the corner, take the back body lock from there. And once he's turned the corner, he's looking to take the back of the opponent, especially if the opponent is on all fours or they're turtled. He's looking to take the back from there. And once he's got the back, he's immediately looking for submissions, like rear naked chokes, arm bars, short chokes. But yeah, he can attack submissions a little bit too hastily for my liking and, lose dominant position and end up in an inferior position. But when he just gets on top and looks to just control the opponent, he's very heavy on top. He likes to make you bear all of his weight. And he is a big guy so for the weight class, so, he's quite heavy on top. He's also very active off his back, always fishing for reversals, leg locks, submissions. But I get the sense he's a little too comfortable there, He jumps guillotine quite a bit. You don't want to be playing off your back too much in the UFC because judges just don't rate it highly at all, so yeah, it's just, you're not going to win too many rounds off your back. So unless you've, very confident in your get-ups and your reversals, then I don't suggest playing off your back at the UFC level. So how these guys win fights, so for Rodrigues, I think he's got big power in both hands, and he's, very physically strong as well. And for Dusko, I think I need to see more against high-level competition. I mean, I think he's had a very cruisy ride in his career so far, except for Puna, and we saw what happened there. So I think against low-level competition, he looks like he has decent power, he looks like he has good movement, and he pushes a decent pace as well. How these guys lose fights, so for Dusko Todorovic, I think his striking defense is very concerning. Also, his chin looked pretty suspect in the Puna fight. I mean, how many times did Puna drop him? Like 4 or 5 times in that fight. And I swear Puna only landed like 5 strikes at distance. And every time he touched him, he just went down. So, yeah, Puna obviously does hit hard. But, I don't know, his chin just didn't look great to me. And for Rodrigues, he's usually on the wrong end of the speed equation. I think he's quite, he's quite plodding, quite slow. Also, he does, slow down pace-wise in the 3rd round. Just marginally, if he has a grappling advantage over the guy, that's fine, but he can still work his wrestling just because of his technique. But, he does seem to slow a little bit in the 3rd. Path to victory for these two. So for Dusko, look for the feints, look to keep him off you, look for the movement, keep him guessing, keep him hitting air pretty much. Try and stay off the fence, use your movement to stay away from the fence. Try and put him on the fence if possible. So yeah, if you're near the fence, look to, angle off, cut out of there, and then do a 180, and then, turn it around, get him on the fence. Because yeah, when Jordan Williams did that, he finished him. So I think he's not used to going backwards. So if you get him moving backwards, maybe with some feints, then maybe you could get him a little bit more uncomfortable than he would be on the front foot. And for Rodrigues, look to walk him down, look to cut off the cage, and then tee off at him when he's trapped against the fence. Look to hit the body and then go high, because, his head movement is decent. So if you hit the body first, you'll make him think about something else, and then maybe he'll be totally focused on defending the body instead of the head movement up top. And at distance, look for the low calf kicks, look to chop him down from the legs up. So yeah, stop the movement. That will slow him down a little bit. Also the counter 2 when he closes distance, we talked about that before. And if he wants to clinch, look for throws in the clinch, and then look to get some top control from there. Control him against the fence if you're struggling to get him down, but also struggling on the feet. Look to just push him against the fence, body lock bully him, grab the body lock, and look for mat returns from there. For Dusko, look to work the body, body kicks at distance, body work in the clinch. Look to be very active in the clinch just to kind of wear him out, take a bit of that steam out of the punches as well. Look to do that pretty early in the fight. How I see the fight going, so yeah, I think the confidence levels of these guys are at totally different levels at the moment. For Rodrigues, he's coming off 2 clean KOs in the space of 11 weeks, and he's got a 3rd fight coming up here. And for Dusko, he just came off his first career loss. He was undefeated before that, and it was a bad loss too. It was a bad KO. But yeah, I do know I'm not as high on Dusko as a lot of people are. I think his striking defense is really concerning. I think his chin looks pretty weak to me, honestly. I think Rodrigues, also seems pretty suspect, but he has more power. And I think both these guys do have the power to knock each other out, but I think I'd give the power advantage to Rodrigues. So if you pin Dusko against the fence, he's extremely limited and extremely open for huge shots, as we saw in the Puna fight. And Rodrigues is the type of guy that doesn't like taking a backward step. He's going to look to cut the cage off for Dusko, look to really push him against the fence. And in the smaller octagon at the apex, the fence catches up on you real quick. So how I see it going is I see that in the smaller octagon, I see the bigger man, Rodrigues, stalking Dusko down, throwing bombs. I can see Dusko trying to seek refuge in the clinch, but he's just going to be greeted by Rodrigues, who just happens to specialize in upper body throws. I can see him throwing him around quite a fair bit. I think he has the strength advantage. I've seen Dusko get thrown around in the clinch a bit before by Puna and Michel Pereira. So yeah, I think strength difference and power difference is going to be quite prevalent here. Also stand up, I think it could be fairly close, if it does stay on the feet. Maybe Dusko just edging it just by using his speed and winning on volume with his jab and his lead leg offense. But I can definitely see Rodrigues finding the off switch of Dusko. But yeah, I also think Rodrigues can just pretty much just wrestle fuck him and use his strength advantage in the grappling if he wanted to. Just really dominate in the clinch as well. So yeah, in conclusion, I think Rodrigues does find the shot by the end of the night. I think he does. I think he does Dusko in round one, maybe round two. So yeah, even if he doesn't put Dusko out, I can just see him winning the first two rounds with damage, takedowns, clinch offense. Probably loses the third round quite a bit. You know, he does slow a little bit. If he can't get his wrestling going in the third round, he's probably going to struggle. But I think he's going to be winning the first two rounds. Honestly, I think he puts him out more likely, but still, I think he should be okay with the first two rounds. So yeah, let's have a look at the betting lines. So yeah, I do have Rodrigues winning. I think he wins around 60 to 55% of the time. So yeah, I think he does win. The only concern is the short notice for me, honestly, but I think it's a good stylistic matchup, and I'm not very high on Dusko. So yeah, I'm looking to bet Rodrigues at anything with plus money. So right now he's pretty decent dog, moderate underdog. So definitely looking to bet him here. Yeah, that's probably the only bet I'm looking at, just the Rodrigues money line. But yeah, I think he wins. I think he KOs Dusko in round one.